seeing a lot more of that kind of thing in like your big arena level shows.
Really?
Like the guy that plays with Shakira, he has a full on like acoustic electronic hybrid kit. Like all of his drums have built in just like inputs. So he's changing sounds, like getting like album specific sounds for every song.
I can see it, especially if there is some crazy electronic stuff kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, those little rolling pads are kind of nice because you can program all that in, but it's just not as satisfying to like hit a square that's this big. And I miss a lot.
Which pad, sorry?
Any of those like rolling pad things, where it's like the 6 big ones and the 3 little ones on top.
Oh, sure. You don't like those?
I think they're fine, but it's way more satisfying to have it be in an actual drum.
Oh, so is that like a contact?
Yeah, so it literally just looks like a drum set, but they add their inputs.
Oh, you just mean.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Miki Suzuki, and this is our celebration choir. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Seattle. We're going to kick off this morning's service with this amazing song led by Richie.
Woo! It hit me like dynamite when I was healing from the black and blue. I could worry about the things that I never had or focused on what I do. And with a little bit of love and a little bit of time, I found out what was true. I got a good life. I got a good life. Hey, I got a good life. Like the lips on a honeybee. Ooh, it tastes so sweet. Nothing better than God and me. How could it be? Woo! I must be doing something right to have ended up here like this. I know there's been a few bumps and a few hard nights, but I'm thankful for this bliss. And with a little bit of love and a little bit of time, the sun came shining through. I got a good life. I got a good life. Hey, I got a good life. I know what God means to me. It makes my life complete. Fills my heart with the missing piece. How could it be? I got the good, good life. I got the good, good life. I got a good, good life. I got a good life. I got a good life. I got a good life. Hey, I got a good life. I got a good, good life. I got a good, good life. I got a good, good life. I got a good life. I got a good life. Oh, 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 I got a good life. Hey, I got a good life. Oh, I got a good life.
What are you grateful for? To start out with gratitude as the beginning of anything, a conversation, a day, a week, a prayer, is to expand the heart so that it can receive even more. Gratitude is taught in every major religion, and yet we can sometimes want something significant before we're grateful. And yet the world is teeming with blessings that we can observe, acknowledge, and be one with. So what are you grateful for at this moment? What good thing has happened so far today? What gave you awe and wonder yesterday? What touched your heart last week? Who smiled? Who reached out a hand? Who gave you a compliment? Who gave you a suggestion? Who nudged you into knowing more about yourself? All of those things are things to be grateful for. So take them, hold them, hold them. Acknowledge those things and let gratitude grow. For a grateful heart becomes a magnet for even greater things. For even greater things than these ye shall have also. So, with a heart filled with gratitude, encouraging you to have gratitude, I speak my word of blessing for this coming together this morning. That what we need mentally, emotionally, or spiritually is given. Maybe through the music, maybe through the message, but definitely by the Spirit of God that is with us now. And we're open to it. Let the blessings begin. And so it is.
Beautiful. I am so blessed and so grateful to welcome all of you here to Center for Spiritual Living on this Sunday morning. My name is Karen Cleveland. I'm a minister here, and my pronouns are she, her. So, as I said, welcome here. You know, we are a community. We are dedicated to teaching age-old wisdom and to help inspire people to connect with something greater than themselves. And we do that with little or no dogma. We just teach, and we allow you to make your decisions to let anchor in what feels right for you. At least 2/3 of our community is joining us online, so welcome to those of you that are online. If you make it to Seattle, if you're nearby and you feel comfortable someday, come join us in person. Let us know you've been watching us in person all along, or online all along. So if you are in person, I want to bring your attention to the cards in the seat backs that are in front of you. These are our connection cards. If it's your first time, please take them, look through them, make notes on them, and fill them out. There's a prayer request card. There's an email connection card, so we can let you know what's going on at the center and keep you updated on that. There's also a link to do that online as well. I also want to mention that we are on all the social medias, so please pay attention when you see our posts, like them. Actually, a lot of people don't know this. Don't like it, but do a reaction, because that gets more traction than a like does. But like and follow, share, subscribe. Let other people know this magic that we're teaching here, because the world needs to know about it. So please share. And again, welcome and thank you for being here.
I hear the music.
Well, that's a message to take home with you. Except guess what? You're home. Yeah, what a wonderful way to look at it. Like the whole wide world is our home, not just our backyard. It's wonderful to be here with you today. I'm Kathianne Lewis. I have the privilege of serving this community as one of the ministers. And my pronouns are she and her. And it's also an opportunity for me to not only talk on Sundays, but also to introduce people who I think are important for you to meet. And one of those people is Karen Schiller.
I have to sit here and tell you I am home. As you know, I'm Karen. I'm a prayer practitioner, and my pronouns are she and her. But when I walked in 2008 into the CSL Seattle, I was not feeling at home anywhere. I came in with a broken heart, ending a long-term relationship, $300,000 in debt. And how many of you thought, if I only win the lottery, my problems would be solved? How many out there? Oh, great. Amen. Sister, I was in that club. Thank you. And I thought money would solve my problems. But I got to the place where I tried to bargain, control, figure it out. I was a finance director, for God's sake. You think I would know how to do this? But I realized I needed a bigger God or a bigger understanding of these principles. And what I heard here was hope. There were spiritual practices. There were teaching and classes, incredible Sunday talks from a master. She's a master at it. Brilliant. But what I realized is I really needed to put God in charge of my finances and make God as my source, not my job, not my retirement, not my investments, not any of that. God as my source. But I didn't know how to get there. But one of the spiritual practices that really helped me launch me onto this journey was I filled out my first pledge card. I was terrified. I was scared because I had broken faith in God. I had broken faith that, see what happened? I made such bad decisions. I was full of shame. But I did. It was the most I'd ever committed to a spiritual community. In fact, I'd never done a pledge before. In fact, I was a dabbler. I just put a few bucks in the plate, and that's fine if that's where I was at. But I said, I'm going to up it. I need a bigger commitment to my God. It wasn't giving to get. It wasn't about, let me manipulate God. I'm going to do a pledge so I can get these problems solved. No, it was I truly needed to surrender to God and be in charge of my finances. Miracles began. This was during their last recession. The state had frozen all salaries. My boss got me a big honkin' raise to the University of Washington. She had to go up all the way to the vice provost to get it approved. And, you know, I was like, and I didn't even ask for that raise. That just happened a few months after I submitted my pledge. And the miracles continue to the point where that $300,000 debt, it has dissolved. My God is so good. Money didn't solve the problem. I didn't win the lottery, but my God was so big it dissolved it. And all God asked of me was to give up my belief in lack, my belief in poverty, and my belief that I was unlovable. Because as my self-worth increased, my financial net worth increased. And it wasn't anything I tried to do. Hey, I found I could have boundaries. I could say yes and I could say no. But I followed God, and miracles continue. And as a side note, you know, and it happens no matter what the economic conditions are. This all happened during the recession. So if you're afraid of the economy right now, just get a bigger God and make God your source. And when we look back, I look at this pledge that I did, and it was only 1/10 of what my wife and I give now, and it's so easy because my faith was restored to me, that I had a God greater than myself that was going to restore me to sanity and restore me to a glory among glory. And debt didn't need to hang out anymore because I didn't need to have that reflection back there was something wrong with me. So debt said, oh, okay. Oh, well, oh, okay. So what if you're really abundant? We can do that. Money said, okay, I can show abundance. And so I'm here to tell you, my good God is so good, and I'm willing to lend my faith to you. So much so that I'm going to do a plug. I'm teaching a class called Good, Getting Out of Debt. And I'm going to walk you through my journey of how that debt dissolved. But I also want to learn about what your debt story is. Or if you're not in debt, you just want a better relationship with money, you don't have enough coming in, too much going out of balance, the class works too. It works for you. We interactive, we do exercises, so it's not just a bunch of talking and lecturing. And, you know, they call it, let's have finance fun with Karen at work. Finance fun with Karen. This is prosperity fun with Karen in class. So I hope you will join me and sign up. It's on Wednesday starting October 22nd. So if there's any question about anything I said or interested in the class or about pledging, I'll be at this back pledge table after service. So I would invite you to come chat with me. I'm a chatter. Thank you.
It was really beautiful to watch Karen's evolution, and I watched that evolution. And something happens when you move out of manifesting and you let God be first in your life and let the things unfold naturally. It's so much easier. I've watched so many things, I think you probably have too, on social media about manifest, manifest, manifest. Well, that's still you. It's still you. And there's something greater than you that knows how to thrive. And that's what I want to talk about for the next 5 weeks, is thriving. And the theme for these 5 weeks is it's natural to thrive. It's absolutely natural to thrive. And the motif that we will be using, except, yeah, there it is trees. Trees. We've always had a tree as kind of the motif for thriving because a tree really knows how to thrive. It is the glory of God in form. Of course, everything's the glory of God. Your dog, your cat are the glory of God. And they know it. And they really wish you would know that you are too. But I guess the secret's out. I'm into trees. When I bought places, sometimes people want views of water. My husband wants views of mountains. I want views of trees. I want to look at trees. There's something about trees. I think I first became interested in trees many, many, many years ago when we had a program called Coming of Age. How many of you participated in Coming of Age in any way, shape, or form? Well, you know, one of the things that they had to do in the Coming of Age program is that they would take what they called them practicing young adults. We would call them tweens. You know, not quite graduating, but no longer kids. And they would take these young people, these young, evolving expressions of God, out to a place where there were lots of trees. They were in a bus, blindfolded. They didn't know where they were going. It's sort of a trust walk that they would walk out to these places, and the person with them, their spiritual, what they call companion, would put them next to a tree and say, talk to the tree. So they'd talk to the tree talked, they talked, you know, and so, you know, I think it would be great if you're an uncle or an aunt or a grandparent, have a tree in the yard and just have them go sit by a tree if they get rowdy. Like, go talk to Uncle Tree, would you? Or talk to Auntie Oak Tree, please. But anyway, so it's a thought. Anyway, you would think that would be enough, and I'm pretty impressed with that because they got something out of it. That was part of their ritual. That was cool. Then they would pick them up. They're still blindfolded, put them on the bus, take them someplace, have lunch, bring them back, take the blindfolds off. This is the first time they've seen anything, and the companions would say, go find your tree. They always found their tree. Always. There's something that's a sentient being, and it's not just us. We are so full of ourselves. Where the tree's just being a tree and saying, hey, Joe, I'm over here. I hear you, I know you're here. I mean, there's something beautiful happening. The second time that I was very, very, very impressed with trees was the time my now husband told me about something that he used to do during his family rearrangement, which was his euphemism for the divorce. Not mine, not another one. Anyway, he was going through the divorce, and he was anxious. He didn't know, he was confused. He didn't know how he was going to pay child support on what he made. He didn't know where to live. How many of you have ever been through that kind of dilemma? It didn't have to be a divorce, but there's just so much going on and you are over your head. And so what he would do to let the anxiety go away is he would run. And he ran around Discovery Park. And about the time he would get tired, there was a place in this running path that he had that had a tree. In fact, he actually introduced me. As one of the first things he did is introduce me to the tree. You know, some people, his parents weren't around, so I got to meet the tree. Kathianne, this is my tree. Okay, so I'm not kidding. So I met the tree, and this is where he would be so tired that he'd either sit on the ground and lean against the tree or just lean against the tree until the tree gave him back what he needed to carry on. And he felt the energy coming from the tree and revitalizing him, and he would continue his run. For those of you that have done retreats with me, unless it's in Egypt, which is really difficult to find a good tree, I have people go out and talk to trees. And they come back having heard a lot. Answers happen around a tree. So I could spend a lot of time on trees, but just as trees evolve and forests evolve and things evolve, I'm evolving. And I don't want to talk about a tree as much as I want to talk about the forest that supports the tree and the tree that supports the forest. So this year I'm expanding the metaphor from tree to forest because most trees do well because they're in a community called forest. And even a lone tree in a field provides a community, an ecosystem for a lot of other life around it, in it, and as it, flying by. So, but just a little bit of forest tidbit for you. In Japan, walking in the forest is called forest bathing. They call it forest bathing. And there was a study that was found that for people walking in the woods for at least an hour, their memory increases, the ability to remember things increases by at least 30%. I mean, come on. We need to protect this nature around us. If this is our world, this is our furniture, these are our friends. This is part of what helps us be alive in so many ways, besides just the oxygen that they freely give and the carbon dioxide they freely suck up. So anyway, but first, forest. Let me get back to forest. A forest has been called the lungs of the planet because it breathes in what we don't want, it breathes out what we do. But I believe that spiritual communities are the lungs of spirit. The lungs of the movement of God, breathing in and breathing out. And I got this idea from, that's not it, Kathianne? From Thich Nhat Hanh. And he was a Buddhist monk that started in the East, I think it was Vietnam, and then he ended up in France. But he said the next Buddha, and according to Buddhist tradition, Buddha kept reincarnating. The one we know of was the most recent. So 2,500 years later, This monk says the next Buddha will not take the form of a person. The next Buddha will rather take the shape of a community. A community that practices understanding and loving kindness. A community that practices a way of conscious living. This is the most important thing for the Earth's survival. Two things are important for the Earth's survival. We must keep vegetation healthy, and we must somehow allow the consciousness that permeates our Earth to be healthy. So I know this happens in retreats. We can breathe in those qualities, those beliefs that no longer work. Like Karen had the belief of lack, of poverty, and I'm not lovable enough. To breathe those in, turn them over to the Spirit, and let it be evaporated into the nothingness from which it comes. You want to know a really big spiritual practice is to take the things that you are afraid of, breathe it into yourself, give it to God, and have it be transmuted into a blessing. You can do it. You're afraid? Let it be shifted in your heart and breathe it out. That's actually a Buddhist tradition. But a lot of people don't want to do that. They don't want to take in the fears. They don't want to take in the lack of the idea that I'm not good enough. They don't want to take in the idea that there's poverty, that I'm not going to make it, that I'm going to be poor when I get old, that I'm going to never be loved. No one's ever going to like me. I'll always be alone. To take that in, feel it, and let the spirit of truth that can change anything and dissolve anything, dissolve that in us, and then we breathe out blessing. Woo! Now that'd be a retreat. Thank you, God. Anyway, my dream is that CSL be that kind of a community. That we come together not only just for ourselves, but we come together to create a community that is a bigger self. That we live the Aquarian conspiracy. How many of you ever read that book or heard of that book? A long time ago. You had to be around. I think her name is Margaret Ferguson. It was a big deal at the time, and she talked about us moving towards the Aquarian age. This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius, age of Aquarius, Aquarius. What does Aquarius mean? I sang that song all the time. I had no idea what it meant. It means the Aquarian time or age meant a global shift in consciousness towards unity, equality, spirituality, and environmental harmony. That's what this age is supposed to be. And conspiracy. I always thought a conspiracy was when people talk behind your back. You know, they get all this stuff going, and then you walk into a meeting and you go, whoa! Anyway, I thought that was a conspiracy. It's not. The original meaning of conspiracy meant to breathe together. What if we were the breath of an age where we saw all things as sentient? That word. Honored, and we were part of their protection. And their elevation, and their honoring, and their glory. Woohoo! I mean, it's tough to change. It's tough to change. Getting my husband to not use fertilizer and some of the things that we've used. I mean, it's not easy, but we can go there. And I think that our 5 acres are looking good because we are. We're trying. But for us to do well, the individuals must do well as well, which is what I've focused on for, I'd say, as many years as I've been here. I focused on my purpose in life, which is to inspire and empower people to live closer to their God, Karen, thereby creating more harmony in their world and the world. It's because it's not about having more money, it's having a harmonious relationship with money. It doesn't matter how much you have as long as you're in harmony with it, as long as you have what you want. There's someone not here, he was here first service, that harmony for him is just travel. He just wanted lots of travel. And he started using these spiritual principles, and he did something I asked him to do, which I asked everybody to do in Money Mastery, which is to have a savings account for the things you want. Instead of hoping it'll just show up, just start saving and the money comes in. He talked about how much money he's got in his travel account, and he's gone to New Orleans twice and New York City 3 times and all these places that he's gone. And then, guess what? He buys a raffle ticket because he was told to. He buys a $100 raffle ticket and gets two free first-class tickets on Alaska anywhere they fly. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. Individuals can do well. Do you know, sometime in these weeks, I'm going to talk about the infrastructure below the surface, below what we see in a forest, where every tree supports every other tree, where they are sharing nutrients and moisture and making sure that it goes to everything that's living. It's amazing. Whew. So the more you do well, the more you help others do well, because as I forgot who came up with the sentence, the statement, but I think I heard it from Reverend Sharon Ramey. When the tide rises, all the boats rise as well. When you start to rise, we rise. But it's not just for us, it's for us, the world. Because there is such a sense of scarcity, and God did not create scarcity. God created sufficiency. It's normal. And guess what? The plants are smart enough to partake of it. And we wonder if we're good enough. I don't think if I sat by any of the trees on my property, they would ever say, I wonder if I'm good enough to thrive. What do you think? You're a minister. Can you bless me? It'd probably just say, oh, get walking, girl. Take advantage of what we're taking advantage of, which is the juice of spirit. So I want to share with you some steps for thriving. So individually, we will talk about you thriving, and then collectively, we'll talk about us thriving. Okay, got it? So steps. First thing is, find your hope again. Hope. The mind wants a fix. The mind wants to make this better. I'm going to share somebody's story in a while, and her hope, her fix was how, you've talked about getting out of debt. Her fix was, how will I ever have money to retire? I've got all this debt. How am I going to have money to retire? That was a fix. God working at the level of fix is dummying down God. We're not supposed to bring God down to us. We're supposed to have it lift it up so that we can see as it sees, and it sees no problem. And the ego goes, no, can't go there because there really is a problem. I mean, what's my job going to be if I don't see a problem? What am I to do if there's no problem? Emily Dickinson said, hope is a thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without words and never stops at all. Hope is something that inspires us beyond our intellect. It conceives of ideas greater than our mind thinks of to get us out of a pinch. And so many of us can fall for, just get me out of this. Hope is the voice of spirit within us that never stops because it wants us to grow into our full potential and to grow in our relationship with the divine. So if there's a physical issue with your body, hope says, I want wholeness, but it's also saying, I want wholeness, and I don't know how to make wholeness happen. Therefore, I am being called to know God as my body. If it's in relationships that don't seem to be working harmoniously or not in a satisfying, fulfilling way, then hope is saying, this hasn't worked. Okay, obviously this is going to sound like me anyway, so I might as well fess up. 4 times in my life, I got what I wanted in the form of a husband. 4 times. And 4 times, it wasn't feeding me. I got everything I wanted. I got my high school sweetheart. I got the bishop that would take me to the celestial kingdom when I was a Mormon. I got, after being poor, I got the man who owned lumber mills all over the state. After being rich, I got the man who would pay attention to what I wanted, and he would dance and we could go shopping. Think about it. Anyway, and finally, I gave up and I said, Father, Mother, God within, I'm listening to my heart, and what I want is a satisfying, fulfilling, supportive relationship that I can have for the rest of my life. That's what my heart had always wanted, and my head had tried to figure out what would give me that. The heart speaks of such truth. It's where your wisdom lies. But we need to listen to it. And then you need to cultivate it by giving your attention to your hope instead of your fear. Something happens and you'll hope for an outcome, or you'll fear an outcome. And a lot of times, human beings are known for following the fear. And it's tough. And that's one of the reasons you need a community. Because it's hard to remember what's possible when what you don't want is staring you in the face. You need people sharing their stories. You need people that believe that God is bigger than your difficulty. And you can get it by osmosis. You don't even have to hear anything. How many of you have ever come in to this center, whether we're here or anywhere, and you came in with one vibration, you were in the presence just of each other, and you left with another vibration? That's one of the reasons why community works. But how many of you also don't feel good enough to be there? Or when I feel better, I'll go. That's a sure sign to go. That's a sure sign to be in the midst, be in the middle. And just watch your old sad face turn. Because my prayer and the prayer of every prayer practitioner is that Spirit is in this room, and Spirit's going to do something. Whether you like it or not, you will be shifted at depth. And it's not me, and it's not, oh, Kathianne gave a great talk. No, God works beyond me. But you have, and so that paying attention is building faith, and we'll talk more about faith next week. And faith is the substance of the thing you hope for. Then, if you have taken this and you plant this hope in the soil of your own soul, your soul begs for it, and you plant that hope, which is also the universal substance of support, the becoming of your hope starts to evolve. And you start to evolve. Because, see, I had to be different to have a different life. Karen had to become different to have a different life. So many beautiful parables by Jesus and others about if you want change, you're the first, you got to say, I'm first. But it will be for good and for glory. Now, everything in the forest was started with a seed, a spore, a bulb, or something that's a born-again something. I mean, we have taken out things that seem to want to be born again all the time. We've taken out blackberries, and there's roots under there, and if we don't pay attention, they just appear anywhere. It's like, oh, you thought I was gone. Ha, ha, ha. Anyway, a whole metaphor on that. But everything wants to grow in a forest. And your world is your forest. What you have growing there was planted there, but oftentimes not by you. It was planted there by your family or culture. There was a time growing up in Springfield, Oregon, where every person, every girl in my senior class didn't talk about the colleges they were going to. I didn't hear about college. I heard about who they had scoped out that they hoped would ask them to marry them so they could be engaged and be married by 20. and children in their early 20s. And it's like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Do I have to do that? Oh. And my mother said, don't go to college. That's silly. What would you do? Oh. I have plans. I had to pick my future, which is still not this. But I had to pick a future and plant that, and I've always believed in prayer. I grew up praying. In an agnostic atheist family, I grew up knowing that there was something greater than myself that listened. And I took my future, I planted it, and I gave it to God, and I said, help me. And it was all, and all I can say is, yay and amen. I did not have to become a bookkeeper, and I didn't have to become a secretary because I couldn't type. Does that make sense? So if you're not liking what you're getting, what is your hope, and are you willing to plant that? Are you willing to plant lifelong financial security? Not, I hope I make this there, and I hope I get this there. Lifelong financial security, and I know some people that do have that. I'm grateful. So we water the faith with our attention, we fertilize the faith with our prayer, and we watch the landscape of our life shift. Now, a little story, and I've told this twice, but I'm going to tell you again. The shift may, and I'm using this story because the shift may not happen automatically. You know, a bulb will come up, and it'll go down. But luckily, what's good about bulbs is that it's going to divide, and next year you'll get 2 bulbs. And the next year you'll get 4. It takes a while to do a whole garden from one bulb, but you can. And it takes a long time to grow a tree. But if you hold this and take care of it, your life will shift. I got an email from someone who was so grateful for these teachings because she said she came into the center at 2012. She too was $55,000 in debt, had absolutely no savings, absolutely no retirement, and no way to figure out how that would ever happen. It's 13 years later. She said that she just was able to invest $100,000 in a condo unit with her son, although she's not living there. So that's an investment. They are now rented, and so there's income coming in from that. She has a whole lot of money in her retirement. She's got money saved. She's totally debt-free, and she's doing so well that she hasn't had to touch her retirement, except, now that she's 70, she has to. And she said, I have more than I think I could have, and I live on a lake with a view that I can walk down to the lake. It's everything I've ever wanted, filled with light. It's perfect. I'm living the life that I once dreamed of. But she also got the support when it was hard. I remember this woman sending in prayer requests. So she drew upon the community. She drew upon our prayer practitioners. She drew upon things as things continued to evolve. That's what community does for each other. That's what we do for each other. So, next week we're going to talk about how the forest community supports the individuals, the plants and the animals that live within it. But right now, I'm going to let you know that when you leave, you'll have go past a basket where you can take a bulb. This is my gift to you. And plant it. If for those of you that have soil outside, just put it in the ground. For those of you that don't, the reason I pick bulbs is because you can put it in a pot, put planting soil, water it once in a while, kind of like it rains outside once in a while. You just, put it in a sunny place, love it, and watch it become what it was meant to become. I'm going to say it. I'm not sure I said it, but I want to say it. If I've said it now, this service, I want to say it again. Meister Eckhart said, the seed of a pear grows into a pear tree. The seed of God grows into God. You are God's seed. People talk about starseed. Oh, no, 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 honey. Don't dummy it down. You are God's seed, evolving into your magnificent self. Just as the tree knows it's magnificent, you are growing into your own magnificence. And because of you, beautiful things happen. So take a moment. What is your deepest hope? Whether it's physical, mental, emotional, financial, relationship, oh. What's your deepest hope? Take it into your heart. Bury it in your soul. And let God do its work. And then, when you get your bulb as you leave, take care of it like you are your hope. And so it is.
My wings were heavy, I could not fly. I was haunted by dreams that were meant to come true. Love was there, but I could not see it. So the voice of salvation came shining through you, and you sang, God is all. In the sky of my mind was lightning and thunder. I never could trust it would finally be right, till the truth in your eyes said, don't worry, don't wonder. You sang me a song that has shattered the line, and you said, God is all there is. God is all there will ever be. God is all there is. God is all there will ever be. And like the shepherd, you pulled me through. When my heart was troubled, I didn't know what to do. Your compassion, it planted a seed in my life. Now a flower's in me. All the time I'm singing, all the time I'm singing, God is all there is. God is all there will ever be. God is all there is. God is all there will ever be.
If your wings are heavy and you cannot fly, haunted by dreams that were meant to come true, God is right there, you just have to see it. Let the source of salvation come shining through you, and you sing, God is all there
So, I love this. And sometimes I think we could also turn it into a prayer. So, you guys have an issue. What's on your heart? What troubles you? What is heavy? And then you guys sing. God is all there is. God is all there will ever be. And so, not only in your heart for yourself, but for our country. You know, there's a verse in the Bible that comes from the book of Esther. They don't think Esther really lived. They think it was a story that was told. A metaphor for our soul, that when things get really tough and we want to avoid and we want to walk away and we want to bury our head not in the sand but in Netflix, and we want to just pretend it's not happening. And then in Esther was told by her uncle, who was the community of faith, he said, Esther, maybe you were born for a time such as this. Maybe you were born so you could bring your faith not only to yourself and to your community and your family, but maybe you could hold faith that would raise up our people. We think sometimes we have been so limited by personal growth issues that we forget that we're part of a community that can do amazing things. So what is on your heart? What troubles you? And then let the community sing. God is all there will ever be. God is all there is. God is all there will ever be. And in God, there is solution. In God, there's peace that passes understanding. In God, there is direction and there is a way. In God, there is an opportunity to speak. In God, there is truth that heals. In God, there's love that includes. In God, all things are possible. So let us not try to fit God into our life. As my friend Mark Anthony Lord said, let us fit into God, and so it is. Thank you for being so available. So wonderful, thank you. All right, my dears, a few things that I want to bring to your attention, but before that, come on, bring up the basket. Now, the basket coming forward means I will be asking you for money. Some of you are new, but we do take a collection. Why? Because it takes financial freedom to produce these wonderful services. And also, I'd love for all of you to pray that we find the right people to know how to fix our screen. And I want to just acknowledge the people up there. Thank you, under the direction of Guy and others who have been troubleshooting all this morning, and what we need now is an expert that knows how to. Woo! Okay, who prayed? Because that one's looking black. Oh my goodness, how wonderful. Don't believe that one. All right, cool. All right, so anyway, let's just know that it's all going to work out perfectly because you guys prayed. That could be your miracle for the week. All right, few things to bring to your attention before I ask for your support. The first one is, if you have luggage available, we are providing luggage to Treehouse because they help foster kids, and sometimes they just have to pick up and leave, and they don't even have suitcases. So we're supplying suitcases. You can put them in the lobby. There's a table in the lobby. There's also one downstairs. Also, and I'm really excited about this. I'm just watching that thing. That we are helping to support a movie that's called The Man Who Saved the World. The Man Who Saved the World, ? There it is. This guy was contacted by different tribes all over the Amazon basin, and that includes a lot of countries. The indigenous people, their leaders, had a prophecy that a white man would come and help save the rainforest. Baby, if we want to save the world, we better save the rainforest. I mean, because it is at least one of the lungs. And it's an amazing story. I watched the movie. I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't tell you about it if I didn't think it was amazing. It's mystical. It's about ecology. It's about us stepping up and making a difference in the world. And it's about the power of indigenous shaman. Woo, baby. So, we're not selling tickets, but you can get a ticket by picking up a bulletin or a program and just using the QR code. Hope to see you there. They've actually asked me to speak afterwards on a you can stay and ask questions. I will have nothing to say because they're really, but I'll say, yeah, I believe in that. Anyway, and it's downtown at Town Hall. Thank you. All right, so that's going on. I'm really in favor of it. Also, Beyond Limits starts on Tuesday, the 21st of October. I really recommend that for anyone that is wanting to get more information about what we teach, because it will lay everything out. That's taught by, she's there? Yes, she is. I keep seeing that black screen and going, is she there? Andrea Weatherhead. And it's the foundation. It's the beginning. If you want to take a trip with us, a lot of my retreats, you have to have taken this class. It's the foundation of springing forward into your magnificence. And those are all my announcements. I do want to say I'm so grateful to Karen for talking to you about filling out a pledge card. It's an intentional giving card, because we want to know what you intend. And in your intention, something musical. Yes, I will show up every night at your house and start singing to you. And then you go, I'm not pledging nothing. No. It's an intentional giving card. And it's about starting the process of saying, I'm in. I'm here for my spiritual growth. I'm here for other people. I'm here for our community. I'm here for our world. I am going to make spirituality a greater part of my life because I'm tired of working on it. That's it. That's why we do it. So I encourage you to think about that. I will be talking about it for the next 4 weeks. You can't, but the talks will be so good you will come back, honest. For those of you that are sustaining givers, and I know some of you are, so you just roll your pledge or commitment over. We have leaves that would love for you to put on a tree that looks like this downstairs, because I know some of you just have already pledged, and some of you are practitioners and already pledged, and I really appreciate it. Please put your leaf on the big thing downstairs that looks like that. And those are all of my announcements. Let's just take a deep breath. And if your heart told you what to hope for, hopefully it will tell you how to support this community and this way of life and this kind of message. A message that's empowering for you to live your best life, and empowering for you to know that the way you live actually affects the way other people live. We are connected. We are one. It's not just a platitude. And for this, I'm so grateful, and so it is. And the way we do it, for those of you that are here for the first time, is feel free to come out, put your gift in the basket, then go back to your seat. And because we're always amazed, I'm always amazed at the wonderful music, like what does Jake come up with? You know? Enjoy, let's play, and let's give.
I think some people came through that line twice. We know how to play, we know how to dance, we know how to sing. Yay. So I'm Jerry Paul, I'm a practitioner. I will be doing the grief circle over across the street at 12:30. If you're not there by 12:40, you have to wait for next week. And grief is not just when somebody dies. It's about loss, family, career, relationship, blah, 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 blah. It shows up, and I pay attention because I know it's a healing into the higher good with support, with witnessing and listening. And Nancy Rice is going to be leading the prayer circle. Highly recommend it. And Sean will be back at the desk if you want to just talk to a practitioner, have them pray with you, whatever. I think that's... I always say, I can't remember what else I have to say, but I'll remember it later, and then you have to listen again. I just remember being in a choir and how the voices, the individual voices, are so beautiful, and the gift of coming together as one to give that beautiful gift of music to the rest of us. So we can dance, we can sing along. So I know that as we have come together as community, both in person and online, and by the way, online also has prayer support, prayer circle. I have noticed that there's people in our community that have some challenges. And again, we come together as community to support and to love so that we can each just be our beautiful selves, blessing this community and on and on and on throughout our larger communities. We take this feeling of love with us throughout the week. This isn't just a Sunday church. There is so much support for you during the week. Call me up. I'll listen. I'll pray with you. And I know that's true of most practitioners. So, I am so grateful for this community. I am so grateful for this time together. And we're just going to go out and lift the world up in this consciousness of love. I know it. I know it. And each of us is so vital to the world right now. So we love, and we love, and we love, and so it is.
And I am so grateful for our exquisite band right here. Jake, Joe, James, and Yuri. And also our sound and visual team up there. Without them, we have zero sound. So this weekend, our choir, Celebration Choir, hosted an event here called All Community Choir Workshop, where several of area choirs and many singers gathered here. All day long, we made music and we sang. And it was so great that we think we will do it again next year. And what if we have a concert at the end of the day? Will you all come? Okay. You heard that? All right. So today I was able to feature Richard, Jillian, Jenny, Julie, and now please join us for the closing song. Now this one's going to be led by Richard and Kenny.